one. Now take note that before we start creating any chart, we need to make sure that our data is properly cleaned up and it is in a proper structure that enables us to create our charts. All right, so we're going to be tracking two KPIs. All right, so we're going to track workplace inspection, and then risk assessment, right? And we want to track it over a time frame. So we have a date column and we can start to populate our data. So rather than just using the borders to have a table like this, I would prefer to insert this in an Excel table. Okay, now before that, let me just create my workspace, because I always like to keep my sheet clean without any grid lines, right? And let me just get rid of the extra space above. All right, and let's insert additional space to keep it cool. All right, so let me expand the columns, and we have this section dedicated for date. This section is for, or this column is for recording the number of workplace inspections and risk assessment that we're doing, right? So instead of keeping data like this, I could I rather want to insert an Excel table, because I like to work with table. And you would have to select my table has headers, so that it's going to keep everything clean. I don't like the formatting of some of the tables, so I like to keep everything clean and tidy. So this is my table, and I'll start populating the dates. All right, so the date, we're starting from '36. So this one is just random figures that you can put in. Okay, so I could just put in random figures just to finish up. All right, okay, now the next thing I'm going to do is that I'm going to insert a slicer, because I like slicer so much. Slicer for the table. Now what is slicer? Slicer is basically this filter for the table, the header filters. These header filters, you want a system that allows you to control it independently of the table. You don't have to click here to apply the filter. You want to have it independently. So if you want to apply filter, you need to just click on the table, come to the table, let the table be active, right? You click on the table will become active, go to insert and click on slices. All right, let's do that again. Click on the table. For the table to become active, go to insert. If you don't click on the table, slicer will not be active. So you click on it, you go to insert, then you click on slices. Slices are basically the table headers, because you want to be able to control the content within the column. All right, so we want slicer for dates, so to be able to control the table. You get it? Yes. Now in order for us to get a total, you could use a system of getting a total. Assuming, let's see what happens if I do a total somewhere, like what's the total of this and total of that outside of the table, then I apply this. Does it update? It doesn't update dynamically. If you are using this to create a formula, okay, I'll just show you that. Maybe we are saying that this is a summation, right? Let's call it total. And we are trying to say, yes, we are developing a template. Yes, we have our total here. Let's give it a, fill. Let's make it look like this. So this is our total column. So total row, and we could, but then that's not good. You cannot create any meaningful formula out of it. If you have to create a progress chart or calculate percentage completion, right? Percentage completion. What it means is that we're going to look at the total divided by the target, right? We're going to get this. And we can apply the percentage on it. And we can say, okay, fine, there's a percent completion, but it's not dynamic. This is not dynamic, as you can see. We want the figure for January. What is the status of completion as far as these KPIs are concerned in the month of January? We are still getting 89%. In the month of February, still 89%. So summation will not work for us to calculate the progress and be able to plot our graph, right? So what we do is that we need to do something differently. So we click on this table, we come to the table on the Excel headers or the menu, all right, and then we click on total row. So now the total row has been introduced, okay, which means that Excel is giving us opportunity to have a total of the KPIs dynamically, and that is very good. So now we have something that gives us a dynamic total, and that is based on whatever we select. So we select this and this, it gives us this. We select this and this, it gives us that. All right, how did I come about this? Let's delete it again. Let's get rid of, okay, let's delete the formula, right? Let's take note of the formula. It is subtotal 109 of whatever is there. We can still use something else. Again, when you have the total section, right? Total, you can delete it like this. You can get rid of it. You can get rid of it. One or more formula names referencing turning off the total may cause, yes, turn it off. All right, so now there's no formula in there. We bring in the total again. Then we can create our own formula, right? Now to create our own formula, take note that you still cannot use the summation, because when you use the summation, it's still going to tell you, okay, it's able to give us cumulative figure, which is good. It gives us cumulative figure. So the total column, actually total row, gives us cumulative figure, which is very good. All right, so that is the advantage of using the total in table. All right, so based on that, what we're going to do is that we're going to use that to calculate our progress chart. Now progress chart, we are looking at the target of 100%, which is the same as 1, and we apply the percentage on it. All right, and what is a percentage progress? Percentage progress is based on the fact that we use the equal sign to select this. This is the cumulative figure divided by the yearly targets, and that gives us 81% in percentage terms, right? Now we need a remainder section, which is the fact that this 100% divided minus 81% gives us this, right? And then we do that. Now we're going to plot our progress chart based on these two data points. So we select these two data points. We go to insert tab, come to the chart here and choose donut chart, right? So now we have our donut chart. We just have to clean the data a little bit, okay, and then we can now begin to format the chart to make it look very nice. Okay, so remember, we are trying to report on, we're trying to do something similar to this, right? We want to do something similar to this. This is the first chart we are trying to replicate. Later we move on to this, all right? So let me take it away and let's replicate it. Now in order for us to get, now let's have a look at this chart again. One thing you need to know is that it looks like there are two of them. There's one on top, there's one down below. That's what it is actually, because we are able to apply shadow on this one, and the one down below is also there. In fact, for us to know that there are two, when I click on this and I come to reduce the size of the donuts, you notice that the one below, okay, is the same donut, It's the same donut. Okay, that is good. So the same donut, right? So what it means is that we don't have to replicate, because sometimes you can use 2 donut charts. So let's get rid of it. And what it means is that this one is this fill, this one is a white fill, and we increase the transparency to, let's say, 60%. And then we insert a shadow on it. Okay, so now we have our progress chart. What we do is that we go to format and try to get rid of the any fill within the chart and any border within the chart. Okay, so that's what we have. And we go to the text box to select and paste, create a text box. So we hold it, we click on the edges of the text box like this. We go to the formula bar, we use the equal sign, and we select the progress score, the percentage completion. We can center it, we can change the font size, we can increase the font like this, or like this, and we can make it big enough, and we can bring it over it, go to shape format, and then clear the fill. All right, so we have our progress chart like this. Now we select both elements. So this is a text box, this is a chart, this is a text box. We hold Control and select all of them, and you group them. Okay, so if I have it here, I can check the progress of the KPI, and I want to replicate this for the other one. So all I need to do is just Control D, click on it and drag this to this. It's going to change a little bit, and you see that there's something going wrong, right? What is going wrong is that we are getting negative in the remainder. So what we're going to do is that there should not be negative. So we're going to see that if this formula is less than 0, put 0 there. So if this whole thing, put it in brackets or parentheses, is less than 0, put 0. If not, put them back again and close parentheses. All right, so if it is less than 0, put 0 there. So now it sort of cleans it up. Now if I click this, oops. All right, so what we're going to do is I'll just drag this and put it here, and then we work on this. Now for us to get the various data points and format them, what we're going to do is that we would try to reduce the score to, let's say, 42%, which is okay. So that gives us both sides. Then we will just format here, make it the same color as the other one, and format here, make it any color you want. I prefer to choose gray. You can choose to make it transparent if you want. Okay, that's just to clean up, because usually if you want to make it transparent, it means that you're using the same color. You want to make this one 90. Okay, so you can do something like this. You can just make it gray. Now the same text board that is here, we select it, we use the equal sign to select this one, we hit OK. We can click on this, copy the format using this paint brush, and you click on this to create the new chart. So now we have, and then remember that we double clicked on this data point, and then we went to the format, and then we introduce the shadow. Okay, so the shadow is right there. So we've been able to create our widgets, and this is something we can use it to create dashboard, or you can insert it in a Word document or a PowerPoint slide or whatever. Okay, so in order for me to make sure that if I apply this it doesn't change anyhow, I'm going to group them, and then I'm going to change the properties to say that don't move or size with cells. Okay, now close. So now I can take my time to check the performance of this KPI against the target of 600 and 500, and there's a cumulative figure. And because we use Excel table, at every point in time it's giving us the cumulative figure for us to have our graph. Okay, so this is today's episode. We looked at progress chart, this very one. There's no time, so we want to keep it short. In subsequent video we're going to look at the other one, okay, which is how do I open it? The other one, where's the other one? We're going to look at this other one as well, okay, or we should look at it right now. Okay, let's look at it later on in another video. Bye for now. Okay, bye for now. Cheers.